Welcome back to the Financial Alchemist channel. Today I'm going to talk about my two altcoin trades, that is BNB and Solana. So why these two? I went through about the first, if not 700 to 800 coins, and I like structure. Example, let's say XRP. I like to look at structure. Once the market does not give me something nice, this is not looking nice for me in the way I trade, even on the log chart. This is the log. It's looking bad for me. Let's say Cardano. This have no interest. I have no interest in this. So going through about 700 coins, these are the two coins that look nice and have correct structure for me and the way I trade. You might say, why not Ethereum? Ethereum also have nice structure as well, but it's not something I'm interested in. It's not looking nice for me. This is a log chart for Ethereum. Come back to the regular linear charts. This is not something I'm liking, even though it kind of corresponds to BTC as well, but I don't like how this is looking. I might have entered around here with Bitcoin as well, but I just don't like how it looks, so I just left it. But with these two, BNB and Solana, one, it was nice for me structurally. BNB was nice structurally, and Solana was also nice. And coincidentally, this cycle, there were two large caps that pumped the hardest are BNB and Solana. So we know the quote, the higher the jump, the harder the fall. So that was also at the back of my mind. Out of all these large caps, at some point Solana was the one reigning, going to the top 5 because of the meme coin trading on the Solana chain, same as BNB. So once I realized these two were the outliers, even though other coins, other small caps, but regarding the large caps, these two outperformed almost everyone. So knowing the higher the jump, the harder the fall, I was also willing, and also looking at their structure, it was nice for me. I knew this would drop the hardest relating to the other altcoins. Ethereum, as I said, is not looking nice for me to enter. So I was trying to get into Ethereum as well with Bitcoin, but it's not looking nice for me. It wasn't as nice. Once we broke this, from here to here was too small for me. I don't know what would have happened here. And once we broke here, it came up from here to here, was looking too small for me as well. This counter trend line kind of. And if we are able to break this, it's looking, I just didn't like the reasons for this trade not working out were a lot. And I wanted, just like we already know my BTC trade, I wanted one initial trade for the long term, then multiple trades in between and room to run. So just like Bitcoin, if we don't pull back here, in like just like how I said in my previous video, and we continue going, there's room for pullbacks and there's room to fall. This is nice. This is what I'm looking for. So that's why I was able to pick these two, because structurally it looked nice for me, or it makes sense for me, and they were the two hardest to pump as well. So they might be the ones with the highest fall. And I'm saying this because looking at Bitcoin dominance, let's go to the monthly. We know the correlation with Bitcoin dominance in the altcoins. So as BTC, just to summarize, as BTC goes higher and the dominance falls, altcoins outperform BTC. So this is a similar example. The red lines are peaks in BTC. The blue lines are halving. Then from the blue to this line is 1 year after the halving. Then 6 months later we peak. Halving 1 year after the halving. Then 6 months we peak. Halving 1 year after the halving. 6 months later we peak. 6 months later will give us October. So I was looking at this for altcoins, but this cycle it didn't play out like the previous two regarding the altcoins. So that's just by the way. So as BTC goes higher and dominance drops, altcoins outperform BTC. As BTC goes higher, and the opposite is also true. As BTC goes lower and the dominance drops, still altcoins outperforms BTC in the downside. But as at now, as we drop in BTC USD and the dominance goes higher, it's going to be terrible news for the altcoins, and it's looking like that in this scenario. So if we are still to hold this trend line or this 57.5% and we go higher and about go to 70%, anywhere it wants to go to, but as long as as of now, this is bullish, this is a support zone and it's creating nice structure. Let's go down to the weekly. So you can see higher highs and higher lows, and though we might break this trend line, the support, we have a support zone at 57.5 and also here at 54.75. If we are to break these two, then it's kind of okay for altcoins. But if not, and we continue to move higher as we have already been doing in this bullish trend, is going to be very terrible for the altcoins, because we moving higher in dominance and BTC USD going lower. So for BTC to drop a 1% drop in BTC USD can be about an 8 to 10% drop in the minor altcoins. So as of now, the dominance is still bullish, whilst we are kind of beginning a bear market, which isn't good for the altcoins. So this is my reasoning for going for these two. So knowing that this will drop harder, and as at now, yes, I think this has dropped harder. So from the peak till now, we have dropped about 34%. That's BNB. Let's go to Solana. From the peak, are we going to consider this the peak or this peak? So this cycle, this is the peak for Solana. So let's say this. So now 54%. So this is what I'm saying. If you go to BTC's peak, which was 126,000, to now 25%. So you can see the drops are worse on the altcoins than that of BTC, and this has occurred whilst the dominance is slightly going higher from here. Imagine we are to blow up to higher highs in this cycle, then this will be worse than what we have now. So this is my reasoning. So let's start with BNB. Start from the monthly. As I said, it pumped the hardest regarding the top 10 altcoins, so I was expecting a larger fall, and once we had this wick in my month, I knew we'll peak in October. I was looking for some bearish structure to enter this trade. So we now go to the weekly. This was still looking like a strong bullish trend with this trend line and everything. So come down to the daily. So the daily, we can see double top. We came down, came to create a wick, looking like we are going higher, to create a double top. This trend line held 1, 2, 3, 4. Also looking like this could have held, and we dropped. If you are to remember my Bitcoin trade, my first entry was here. Once we came down, put my stops to break even, got kicked out at break even or a little profit, then re-entered, and that is what we are in now. Similarly, I was waiting for that for the BNB. So we now go to the 4-hour. So looking at all what I know, this was too high, so I was just looking for entries at this zone. This is also a kind of a touch as well, double top. You can see plenty confluences. It came back to touch this zone as well, coming lower. So I was kind of 90% as well sure for this short, but the entry is the problem. For the direction, I know it's bearish, but the entry is the problem. Once we reach here, and you know I like space, I wouldn't enter here, because from this trend line to this zone was close, so I didn't enter here. We went up once it started looking lower, I was happy. But I also saw this trend line, knowing we can break and go higher, and I'm wrong. So this is a 4-hour candle. The 4-hour chart, this candle, we closing above it. I didn't like it. This one, I also didn't like it. It was too close because this is steep. So I'm like, let me wait and see. Once I realized this candle occurred and I had missed my entry. So I can't enter here, my stops will be too big. So I just had to wait and see. So I was kind of late for this entry on November 3rd. That's at midnight. This opened at midnight, closed at 4 a.m. I missed this entry. So I didn't rush, just had to wait and see. Came back to the daily, had to wait for weeks. This was going lower, just had to watch. I saw this. Once we break this trend line, you'll see structure. So this is the next support zone. This is also a next, this resistance 10 support. So you can put a bar over here. That's about 850. Let's make it a whole figure. That's about $850. And this is also the next one as well. So as we wait here, I was watching, I saw wicks, first day, the next day, third day, fourth day, we're going higher. Then I was happy because this is just a pullback. If we don't just drop, as I've been saying, this move up, we didn't just go up in a straight line. We go and we create the higher lows and higher highs, higher lows and higher highs. Similarly, when we're coming down, we've gotten our double top. We are coming lower. This is kind of a retracement, then break, retracement, break. You understand? So once we reach here, go to the 4-hour, created my counter trend line. And this is also a support. This was a resistance zone, resistance 10 support, now 10 resistance. So once we were bearish here, I still didn't enter because this might be a false and go higher. So we came to touch my trend line, and we had this nice bearish close. Then I entered the BNB trade. Once we entered, just like Bitcoin, that's just the beginning, trade management. So entered here, still watching. Let's go to the daily. Still watching what might occur over here, and nothing. This couldn't stop this, so we're still heading lower. For this, because of how high it has gone, I'm expecting more drastic moves on these altcoins than BTC, BNB, and Solana. So I wasn't expecting it to just store here and go higher, because we have done that multiple times. We've gone too high for its market cap. So I wasn't really worried at this bar. I'll be more concerned at this bar because this is more structurally heavy than this. So as at now, my stops are past break even about here, and we'll see how the pullbacks are also going to look. So as at now, I'm in this BNB trade. So the problem now is the pullbacks. Are the pullbacks going to be too drastic for me to be taken out, or it's going to be nice? This will eventually break. This won't hold forever, but I need to see some nice structure to enter multiple as well, just like BTC. So this is my BNB trade, and we will say wait and see approach. I don't want to talk about the take profit levels and everything. This might not play out. This might pass it downwards, or this might just store here. We just wait and see, corresponding with the timing as well, because I'm expecting the bottom next year, October. So if we play around here to October, this is going to be our bottom for BNB. If we drop that drastically in October, we are around here, this might be. So it depends on the timing as well and everything. So the take profits, I try to get as much as possible, not just put a price in my head, but working with the time as well, and follow and move my stops appropriately, not too close and also not too far, and be taking profit and be entering more. So this is the BNB trade. Let's go to Solana. For Solana, we go to the monthly. For Solana, on the linear chart or the regular chart, you can see first, second, third. This triple top, very simple. This is now looking like, as of now, it's looking like this left shoulder, head, right shoulder. This is looking like a neckline break. We might come here with us downwards, but we'll not get ahead of ourselves. We can store here and go higher, but that is what it's looking like as of now. So we can also tell this is looking bearish, or if I'm wrong, this is looking like a nice retracement higher. So this move is kind of not guaranteed, but has high probability of we looking downwards. This is the regular chart. Come to the weekly. This as well. Once we know this, so even if I ignore this, this is the 2021 peak. This cycle, we've had 3 peaks here. This alone should tell you we are not going to break above $250. So I had my counter trend line for this as well over here. This is the weekly chart. This is the weekly chart, mind you. So once I had my counter trend line over here, as I said, I like space. We broke this, but this was a huge zone. This is a resistance, 10 support, resistance, 10 support. So this can be a support zone. So once we broke this, I wasn't interested. We came up, came here. So this was still holding. You can see this was playing out. There's also a support zone on the 4-hour. So I was waiting for a break of this. And this as well. Once I entered this aggressively, my stops were here. So let me clone this. So I entered this aggressively with tight stops, because this could have, I didn't wait for confirmation for this. So some of the trades, I don't really wait for confirmations. I have other confluences, not just this normal day trading confirmation. So I entered this aggressively. Stops were about 190 or so, 188. Yes. So this was here. I entered because I knew this was aggressive, and I was fortunate to get this. Took some profit out, move past break even. Once I moved past break even, we had all this, came back to take me out past break even. So this trade, I was out, just like the BTC and the BNB trade. So I was just waiting and seeing, and you can see this pullback kind of had nice support. So this is what I like looking for. We had first touch, second, third touch. If I'm wrong, this should go higher, but this didn't. We have resistance, 10 support. This should be a nice zone for the upside. So if this fails, it means we really want to head lower. So this, I wasn't waiting, because these are altcoins. We don't just have a nice break. You can be right, but the entry is going to be tricky. You can't just have a nice break for you to enter and have a nice stop. So we can just have a break. So this, I wasn't waiting for this to have a long candle down. So I went lower to the 1 hour. Once on the 1 hour, I saw this forming and I entered. I didn't need extra. Like if I had waited, my entry would have been here, which would make my stops bigger. So this is kind of more advanced. You don't necessarily have to wait for some confirmations. You can use your other confluences as confirmation, not necessarily this candlestick confirmation. So what made me also look at Solana on the monthly, as I said, it's just looking like this. You enter normally. On the log chart is very interesting. So we go to the log chart. and we can see what is going on here. From its inception, which was April 2020, we had a nice bull run, about, let's see the percentage, about 113,000%. We came to stall over here. We came down, drastic bear market, started this new bull run as well, also outperformed the whole large caps in quotes with BTC, with BNB. Then we came and stalled at the same place, came lower. This trend line is very strong. It has been like, it has acted as a bull market support band. This has been a support for, so Solana has been in a bull market since its inception, if you look at it in this point of view on the log chart. So it has been, yes, this has been a bear market, but on the log, this is just a retracement. So higher, low, higher, high, higher, low. This should have been higher high. It failed. We came to create equal highs. Fair sign. Then we came to the trend line. We should have created, because third touch always makes it work. First, second, this should have been a third, making it high, and it also didn't. And we're heading lower. This alone should have told you that the trend has been broken. So I'm expecting a more drastic fall for Solana than that of the 2021 cycle. That's from the November till the December 2022. So yes, this was a bear market, but on the log, this is just a retracement. So I'm actually expecting an actual bear market for Solana. I might not be right, but that's what I'm expecting. This one to wait and see. So once I saw on the log chart that this is still holding, I was waiting for the break on the log. So that is why I also didn't like entering here. And since this was a support, let me take this off. Since this is a support zone and we were creating a bottom on the daily as well, I wasn't really happy entering here, even though yes, I did enter here, but I wasn't really confident in entering here. But as of now, you can see we have broken. This weekly candle has broken. Then we are in next week. No matter the pullbacks and everything, we have broken this trend line. We couldn't break it even this drastic bear market. So we're breaking it now. It's more, and you can see what I like. We have space. So similar quote, the higher the jump, the harder the fall. So this are just my zones I'm watching, because this supports 10 resistance, support. This is a support zone. So the price, what, $130. I'll look at it. $100, look at it. $30, look at it. Also here, but we don't know if it will reach here. But I'm anticipating we reach there. So hopefully, Solana's retracements are not that drastic for them to take me out. So once we reach here, I'll take something out a little bit. Then we see if we pull back into this trend line, will be very nice. Continuing downwards, we enter this another trade. So as of now, Solana 2 is looking nice. I'm risk free. Stops at break even, past break even, and we watch and see. So as for Solana, I'm looking at it on the log chart. The rest I'm not looking at it on the log charts. So it's more, it looks more valid, or it gives me more space, because this is a regular chart. It has no meaning for me in the regular chart. It has no meaning for me. This is looking bad in my eyes, but I prefer this. So for Solana, it's looking nice for me. Solana is really looking nice. So this as well, risk free, wait and see. I'm in this trade. BNB also risk free as at now in this trade, and I'm not blindly just following my trade that, oh, it should drop here, drop here. We are looking at if this is looking if this is looking too bullish at this point, we try breaking multiple times, come lower, come higher, and I'm seeing some major head and shoulder or something, I'm out. So I'm not blindly following my cycle analysis and everything. We just wait and see approach. But as at now, there is no reason why this shouldn't drop. So still a wait and see approach for Solana, and wait and see approach for BNB, that as well as BTC. But these are my two altcoins I'm looking at for this cycle. Hopefully I add more altcoins, but now these are the two which I'm looking at, and we see if the pullbacks are going to be nice for me to enter more and trade more to the downside. So that's what I have for you today, and I'll meet you in the next video.